Insurance. How many people love insurance? Raise your hand. No, health insurance, sorry. Okay. So I think we all categorically find it like a brick wall and not our advocate, not trying to help us. It's been the bane of a lot of our existences. I recently met Brooks, who said, well, I actually am investing in the health of my life insurance. What do you call them? Customers. So, okay, let's talk. Brooks, I mean, you're the CEO of John Hancock. Why is a life insurance, tell us why we care so much about the health of your customers.
Yeah, sure. Who here owns life insurance in one form or fashion? I know it's probably one of the most exciting elements of your life. Let me let you in on a little bit of secret about your life that you may not know. I'm sure you all have people that care about you deeply, friends, family, and they all want you to live a long, healthy life. No one wants you to live a longer, healthier life more than your life insurance company does. So you may not realize it, but we're thinking about you every day. And if it's not intuitive or obvious, this is a smart group, I'm sure it's obvious, but let me tell you how we make money, right? We issue you a policy, we collect your premiums. I have smart investment people that invest those premiums. The longer we get to collect and invest those premiums, guess what? The more money we make. So, when you contrast it with health insurance, our interests are perfectly aligned with our customers. Our customers, generally, I think all, want to live a longer, healthier, better life. And guess what? We want that too. So health insurers, I love many friends that are CEOs of health insurance companies, but they have sort of a conflicted paradigm they're operating with, and really around the time dimension of their relationship with their customers. People switch employers now every 4 years, so you're switching health plans all the time. So I talk to CEOs of health companies, and it drives me nuts. One of the CEOs of the Blues the other day said they were going to stop covering GLP-1s. For obesity. I'm like, gosh, that's so short-sighted. Why? And like, well, we need to have a 2.1 year payback period, and we're not seeing it. In our business, in our industry, our average length of a relationship with a customer is close to 3 decades. We paid a death claim recently where the client had been a client for 99 years. Parents bought the kid a policy on his first birthday, died shortly after his 100th birthday. So we are in a really unique position as an industry where we have huge motivation to want people to live longer, healthier, better lives. And we have a huge period of time over which to try to engage customers and help achieve that outcome.
Amazing. And so how do you engage your customers around health? I mean, you're talking about life. Usually you set it and forget it with life insurance, right? You just pay the premiums and hope you never have to, get the benefit.
Right. So 10 years ago, we introduced an app called Vitality. And it's never smart for a CEO to compare himself to the airlines. But if you think about airline frequent flyer programs, right? The more you fly, you earn a status, and the status gives you different perks. What's somewhat similar, but through this app, anything and everything you do that correlates with longevity, you earn points for. A certain amount of physical activity yesterday, you get points. A good night's sleep last night, you get points. Going for preventative screenings, you get points. Buying healthy food at the grocery store, I could go on and on, like thousands and thousands of ways to earn points. Those points accumulate, and you get a status, just like the airlines, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And the higher your status in our program, the larger the premium discount you enjoy, but the larger the value of a whole bunch of other rewards. And I can get into as much or little as you want, but I would say the fascinating part of this, having been in it 10 years, is the behavioral science part of it. We can now see what actually motivates people to take those extra steps or go for that preventative screening. And it's not always what you think. Like, people can earn huge amounts of savings, dollar and cents wise, through the premium discounts by being involved in our program. But to a person, the thing they get the most excited about is this silly game that we have called the Vitality Wheel. It's like the Wheel of Fortune. Every 10th workout you complete, your mobile device shakes and says, "You've earned it, now spin it." And it's like a Wheel of Fortune thing. And the prizes, guys, they're like $5 at Starbucks, $10 at Amazon. And I have billionaires with a B texting me saying, "I just got $10 at Amazon." It's.
But can you control whether they buy chewing gum and candy?
No,
from Amazon? That would be.
We could have a long talk about carrots and sticks. We're all about carrots. But anyways, so it's sort of like frequent flyer program. The more you do, that correlates with longevity. And I will just say one of the things that we've added to the program recently that's been really important, and I see a strong focus on it here, Jordan, is early detection. Our macro thesis probably isn't different than a lot of people here, that way too much money in the healthcare system goes to treatment. And I'm not proposing that treatment dollars be taken away, but much more needs to be invested in prevention. And that's fundamentally what our program is about. Hey, be physically active. We offer our customers a 25% discount on purchases of fresh fruits and vegetables at over 61,000 stores in the grocery stores in the U.S. So encouraging good preventative care.
How do you track that? Like, is there like a card to go to the store to?
Through store loyalty programs, we have partners. Okay. So right at their cash register, it's kind of you talked about a life insurance company being kind of a boring part of your life. We used to have 1 or 2 interactions with our customers a year when we sent you a bill, and maybe when we sent you a privacy notice. I'm sure it's a big time in the family when the privacy notice comes.
Yeah, we all gather around.
Yeah. But now we have 20 to 30 interactions with our customers a month now. So you go to the grocery store, you take advantage of your discount. Right on the receipt, it'll say $5 bag of apples, minus 25% John Hancock. So it's pretty cool as a marketer. But anyways, the early detection has been a huge part of the program, though, because I can tell you, again, back to behavioral science, a lot of our clients and a lot of the brokers who sell our products thought, well, this is cool, but if my client engages or if I engage, I'll live to 91 instead of 88. And that's kind of an abstract concept when you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s buying life insurance. As we brought some of these early detection tools, whether it's Grail or things like that, to the program, we've seen a huge uptick because now people are like, well, this could save my life tomorrow. That's been a huge innovation for us, and we're excited about it.
And so talk about the Vitality program. What specific things? So 25% off on what? Grail even?
There's you can get up to 25% off your actual life insurance premium, which again, oddly, people don't get the most excited about it for some reason. It's probably the most valuable thing. But your highest status level for 3 years, you can get a free Amazon Prime subscription. You get discounted hotel stays through our hotel partner, Expedia, based on status. But on these preventative screening capabilities that have come to market recently, the economics of our business are such that we can offer free gallery tests. I know Grail is here.
And they're here, and I think that's an $800-ish test.
Roughly,
so these are not inexpensive tests, but I mean, cancer is a little bit more expensive.
So for any one of our customers over 50 years old with $1 million policy or larger, our economics are such that we can actually pay for that every year for that customer. And we have now had, in fact, if you stop by I'm not promoting our booth, but if you stop by the Grail booth, you'll see a video from one of our customers who learned that they had early stage cancer because they happened to buy a life insurance policy from us. And we have dozens and dozens of those testimonials now. So in some cases, we're able to fully subsidize things, again, because of the economics. You think about the health insurer, I've got 2.1 years to have this thing pay back. I have 40, 50 years for these investments we're making to pay back.
And so just from a business standpoint, I want to talk about more of the preventative stuff. So you just talked about the ROI for gallery. Like cancer obviously kill you, then you got to pay up the premium. But what about these other ones, like that are a little bit more slower burn? I mean, I think you mentioned you subsidize some biomarker testing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what is the process you employ at the company to do the math and also validate that these are the right things to do?
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our program being very, very science-based. It's sort of medical science meets actuarial science, which I know is everybody's favorite, and meets behavioral science. How do you actually? And we can take a very, very long-term view. When we issue a policy, we set up reserves for it, and if we're able to confidently, with science backing us, assume that on average, this cohort of customers participating in this program will live 8 months longer on average, we can actually sort of monetize that today. And that's the economic fuel for this whole program. That's how I can afford to buy a gallery test for people and give people discounts at the grocery store. So it's a really powerful model. And I think in general, in this topic of longevity, we all need to be looking for where those interests are so aligned. Because most companies, I only actually talk about the economics of our business so people know I mean it when I really want to help people to live longer, healthier lives. But we believe in it too.
So we just heard a panel that life span of women is improved with menopause hormone therapy. It's not hormone replacement therapy. I just want to make sure I got that right. And are you doing anything in that category with women and customers yet, or is that? That science is.
First of all, that was an amazing panel, and the couple of fun facts: women on average are more drawn to our program. and women on average engage more and reach higher status levels. So there does appear, I'm not an expert, there does appear to be a higher level of engagement among women around these types of things. We don't have program elements that are specific to the hormone therapies yet, but took a lot of notes during that session. So
yeah, well, I think the programs are starting to come online where women can actually figure out what the right thing to do for themselves is. So what other things do you are in the Vitality program?
Well, we're always, the fun thing about the program, having been at it 10 years, is we're always studying, I know this sounds really fun, we're always studying why people die. And we're a 163-year-old company, and we have just reams of actuarial data, and we know why people die, what they die for. And the fascinating thing, which is not news to anybody here, is the majority of deaths in the U.S. now are from these lifestyle diseases, right? So there's never been a better time for us to try to engage our customers. And with the advent of wearables and things like that, it makes it so easy, because customers will not participate in a program like I'm talking about if it takes work. If you have to go to a website sounds old-fashioned.
Yeah.
If you have to go into an app and say, hey, I took 10,000 steps yesterday, no one's going to do that.
Right.
So we connect with every wearable on the planet, and once they sync it, we get a steady stream of data on their steps. We can just give points. With my Oura Ring, I can get the occasional nights I get a good night's sleep, I can get points for a good night's sleep, and things like that. So wearables are a big part of it. Preventative screenings, people get points for routine screenings like mammograms, colonoscopies, maintaining healthy biometrics. We're connected with Quest Labs. So what we're really excited about now is you can imagine all the data that we have, right down to what people are buying at the grocery store and things like that.
Well, but like frequent flyer miles, there's whole websites and industries about how do you game that system. Is there any people gaming the, like they put their Oura Ring on a treadmill, press play, and then they go eat some hamburgers, and then they just got a bunch of steps? Or
I hate to say, I always find it very revealing about the person that asks the question.
Hey!
Like, what kind of mind do we have here? It's funny, believe it or not, we spent quite a lot of time studying the science of people that cheat. And no, it turns out cheating is generally not sustainable. Like when wearables, the early generation wearables, I remember being at a football game with my son, and he figured out that if he clapped, he was getting points for steps. Wow. So he kept clapping randomly through the whole third quarter. And by the end of the third quarter, he's like, this is stupid. And so yes, you can find a site that says, put your Fitbit on top of a drill and spin the drill around and you'll get steps. And but again, we have relationships with our customers that are going to be decades. People aren't going to be able, and by the way, the technology is so much better now in terms of being able to verify. So you can try to cheat if you want, Jordan. But
I don't want to. I don't think I have John Hancock life insurance yet, but I'll change to today. Why aren't other life insurance companies following your suit? I mean, this seems like such a natural no-brainer. And I guess the part two is, it almost seems like the life insurance companies could morph into the new health insurance companies that actually care about you. And and somebody said to me last night, I think health insurance companies' days are numbered in the United States based on their bad behavior. Now, they are a massive cabal that have a tremendous grip on everything. So I guess the first question is why aren't other health insurance companies copying you?
It's really confounding. It's hard. It's not easy. I mentioned the investments we've made in the science. Again, medical meets actuarial meets behavioral. You got to have the app and be connected to every wearable and all the stuff. It's not easy, but it's worth every bit of it. My greatest passion is helping our customers try to live longer, healthier, better lives. And every time, once a week now, we hear from somebody saying, hey, my life insurance saved my life. I mean, not like corny, it's like real stuff. My second greatest passion is trying to get every other CEO, every other life insurance company in the U.S. to do the same stuff. Because I can guarantee you no segment of the economy will benefit more if longevity becomes a real thing than the life insurance industry. So I'm like, why are you not, even if just in overt self-interest, why are you not investing? It's a bizarre thing when you think about it. Like those of you that have purchased life insurance, you go through this ghastly process called underwriting where we collect all your medical information, we get your blood and urine, all this crazy stuff, and we issue you a policy and then sit back and say, I sure hope you live a long, healthy life, but we do nothing to try to achieve that outcome. So I always say to my colleagues, like, if you don't love what we're doing or you hate whatever, fine, do something different. So I'm pushing, and I do think, like, health insurance, like, I hate to say it, but health insurance is sort of sick insurance, right? You use it when you get sick. And we're trying to, life insurance really was, and for everybody else other than us now, death insurance. It pays when you die. And it sounds corny, but we're trying to make it life insurance. Like, this is about living. And it's been very great for us because traditionally life insurance is something you do for somebody else. Now it's like, hey, this life insurance can actually help me.
Maybe you should call it longevity insurance. What about GLP-1s then? I mean, are you subsidizing those? Because those seem to what we heard from Eric and other people earlier today, Dr. Verdin, have a profound impact. I mean, I know that maybe it takes more data to put that into the...
Well, the data is pretty compelling. I mean, we spend a lot of time, we have these weird entities we work with called Reinsurers that study all this stuff. And of course, we talk to all the smart people about this stuff. And there's not much to say, I don't know, I think there's much question now about their benefit. We haven't played a direct role in subsidizing them. Our customers are rewarded for the outcomes that they achieve. If you maintain, I know BMI is an outdated thing, we're going to replace it, but healthy BMI, healthy blood pressure, healthy cholesterol, you get large amounts of points for those things. But with some of the people, like the health insurers, pulling back on funding the GLP-1s, we're kind of looking at it saying, do we need to step in maybe? Because it could be enormously beneficial for us to have more people taking them, under the right circumstances.
Excellent. All right, well, I want to open up to questions. If anyone has questions for, yeah, sure, for Brooks.
So I just asked ChatGPT what percentage of Americans have life insurance, because I didn't know the answer, and it said roughly 50%. And about...
What was the number?
About 55%. And, but about half of that is through employer or group, and a lot of people, me included, when I leave my employer, don't necessarily go get individual life insurance. So if there's such a small percentage of, so let's say there's somewhere under 50%, such a small percentage of people have life insurance, what can we all do, and it's such a big contributor to longevity, what can companies like y'all do or we can do to make sure more people are getting life insurance so that we're also helping longevity?
Well, thank you for the question. And it is, if you've ever known somebody that's passed away unexpectedly or otherwise without life insurance, not to be corny, but it can be a real issue. So it is disturbing how many people don't actually have it. But my obligation is to try to make life insurance more relevant to today's consumers and today's economy. I mean, this whole thing started 10 years ago. I woke up saying, I'm a leader in an industry that sells a product that no one gets any joy whatsoever from owning. Like, when was the last time you were excited about having life insurance? It's like, oh, I have to have it or something. And by far is the most difficult product to purchase in the modern digital economy. I mean, buying a home can be complicated, but your realtor doesn't ask you for your blood and urine, right? So I said, we have to set out to make life insurance more, dare I say, fun. Like this, it's gamified for fun, engaging, relevant to you while you're living. So it's not just, oh, I'm buying this, so if I get hit by a car someday, my kids will be okay. Which is important, don't get me wrong, but we have to make it more than that. And we're seeing enormous tailwinds on this. I think that, and easier to buy too. With all the data that's out there now, electronic health records, we're making major advances in terms of people having it be easy to buy life insurance. I'd love for, if you were here today and thought that sounds kind of cool, I want to do it, just be able to like click on a QR code rather than me say, oh, I'll send an agent to your house, then we got a doctor's report and all this stuff, right? So we're trying to streamline that. But I think we're on the right track, but we have to be more relevant to today's consumer. The interest in this stuff, Jordan, you and this conference is a great example. Our customers, I mean, the so-called longevity economy, the wellness economy, are burgeoning. So I think we're in the right space here with what we're trying to do. One of the roles we play, which I know you do, Jordan, this conference is, I love the references to snake oil. You know, I can't even tell you how many thousands of actuaries I employ. They're fun people. And but we're entirely science-based, right? Like if we say we're going to put something on this platform, it's because science has demonstrated that this makes sense. We're not going to put the latest fad or, you know, go put yourself in this water and you'll live longer thing.
So one quick question before I get to you, Mike Snyder, is just for everybody here, because I don't even know the answer. What does $1 million life insurance cost to the, you know, I don't even know.
For you? Oh.
For me, yeah.
I saw you at the bar last night.
Yeah.
No,
I was playing music. What are you talking about?
It varies dramatically. You know, for somebody in their 40s, $1 million. If you're buying term insurance, which is just for a certain duration of time, it could be $1,000 or something maybe.
A year or a month?
A year.
A year.
And then you know, a permanent life insurance policy that'll stay with you forever will be a few grand.
Okay. Everybody should have it. Dr. Snyder.
Yeah, I love this plan. What are your thoughts about whole body MRI and genome sequencing, incorporating those into it?
Great questions. You know, I don't know where this group is. Throw things at me if you want. But I just did my second whole body MRI. I'm a huge fan. I admit I'm somewhat. My mom. One of the reasons I'm so like not bought into prevention being the only thing is my mom never smoked a cigarette in her life, never had a drink in her life, worked out every day, and got lung cancer at 64 and was dead in 8 months. Well, she got it presumably sooner, but because she was a non-smoker, they didn't look for it. So you can do everything right, not that I do everything, but you can do everything right and still have lousy luck, right? So prevention, and early detection. So I personally love the whole body scans. We actually have a partnership with Prenuvo. Our customers get a 25% discount, front of line access. And again, we've had many, many customers come to us and say, hey, just because I happen to do this thing, I had an aneurysm, I had a mass. Genetic stuff is interesting. This is another place where I really am out of step with our industry. The life insurance industry has had a very conflicted relationship with the genetic testing space. Most of my peers would say, bad, don't allow it, or if it is allowed, we need to know. I think they've got it all wrong. Their fear is what we call anti-selection, that people are going to find out something and go load up on life insurance. And you guys know better than me, but most of those tests aren't perfectly predictive of much of. Unfortunately, male pattern baldness is one, but other than BRCA and a few other things, they're not perfectly predictive of much. It's mostly higher or lower elevation. But my belief is in the future that imagine if we have customers that find out they're predisposed to, say, elevated risk of colon cancer. You can be darn sure they're going to go for their colonoscopy every year. If they find out that elevated risk of type 2 diabetes, they're more likely to participate in our program to exercise. So again, I'm kind of alone in our industry where I'd like to see genetic testing be almost ubiquitous standard of care. And then I think net, would some people find out they have something and run out and select against us? Maybe. But I think the net population outcome would be beneficial.
By the way, you're talking to the chairman of genetics at Stanford.
Oh, there we go.
Right?
I guess we're aligned. Okay,
so then there's that. And yeah, we have a question over here.
Great presentation. I'm curious, how involved are the reinsurers right now in terms of funding partially, wholly? I mean, because for them, I would think it would make a lot of sense, partnership with the reinsurers as well.
Yeah, I'm impressed you know who reinsurers are. That's awesome. Reinsurers have been enormously supportive. Most everything that when I say we fully fund the Gallery test for our customers, reinsurers are backing their share of that. So I would say, generally speaking, reinsurers have been more progressive than the direct. The carriers themselves are called direct writers. Reinsurers stand behind them. I'd say the reinsurers have actually been more progressive than the direct writers.
Great, thank you.
All right, one other question? I think this might be our last one.
I have a question about insurance and improving the likelihood of having the best insurance as a consumer. Beginning of COVID, I put together emergency medical kits for a lot of patients and whatnot, and then I had tried to re-up my disability insurance and life insurance. I found that I was getting denied because although I paid cash for all these meds, I was kind of making a mock emergency kit for myself that I was going to give to my patients. I found out that the insurance said, no, you have every single disease known to mankind because you wrote all these meds. We are denying you, point blank period. You can't get insurance. When we know that the medical record system is probably inaccurate, what do we do to advise our patients? What do we do ourselves to improve the veracity and the accuracy of our own medical records to prevent ourselves from inadvertently being declined? Yeah. Are there choices that we make in terms of genetic testing or other things, or what do we do to protect ourselves so that we are not making thinking that we're doing something, but we can really be making a multi-million-dollar mistake?
It's a great question. I know we're out of time, but it's a really important question because so many industries now are relying on electronic health records, and used properly and responsibly, it can be an enormous benefit. Like, why do we have to put people through this awful purchase process? If you're willing to give us one-time limited use access to your EHR, and we don't need to get your blood and urine and have you stand on a scale or get on a treadmill, whatever, we got rid of those. But it would be great. But there are instances. I remember I went for something, and I'm 6'1", and the person wrote down 61 inches. I'm not hugely proud of my BMI to start with, but at 61 inches. My BMI, I saw my BMI, I'm like, what the heck? And now the good news I would say is first of all, we would not use those things the way you described. You would have never been, talk offline, I'm not sure who you were applying with or for what, but there's strict regulations about how we can underwrite people, and we wouldn't have been able to deny you because you had purchased a bunch of whatever you purchased. But I do think it's important to try to make sure your electronic health record is accurate. It's tricky now because a lot of providers, I'm not a provider, but providers, I know there's this coding thing that goes on, and you want to code it so the person gets it covered, but sometimes over-coding can lead to something looking worse. So now the good news is we have really good analytics tools now, including AI, that can sift through massive electronic health records and find out, like, my 61-inch height would have just been dismissed right away because 6 other places it's 6 foot 1 inch. And you can kind of dismiss, we can pretty good at kind of saying that's not accurate, that's an anomaly, that's not right. So I think it's getting better, but it is important to make sure your records are accurate.
Excellent. Well, with that, let's give a big hand to Brooks Tingle, CEO of John Hancock. That was great.
Thank you, sir. Fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.